don't feel like they're just giving their money over, but if they're run properly and successfully, we can make a decent income from them. So that's the reason why I think it's important to have somebody dedicated to doing it.
Okay, and would anyone like to oppose that?
Why do we need it? Why can't the outreach officer simply say, I'm going to angle my efforts this year on having more social events? Why do we need to detract the responsibility of the outreach officer?
Okay.
Kind of the point of that is that, well, currently outreach officer is press officer kind of, as well as schools competitions, and the social events would come under internal too. So I don't know whether you do need to separate them, but it's under internal as well.
Okay.
So I just have two quick questions. I guess the first is, when do we propose to bring in a social secretary? Do we want to elect them this evening? Do we want to elect them in September? Because that is obviously important. Do we bring in next year? The other thing is that obviously there are already 9 people on council, and when we brought in the outreach officer, some people did say 9 is quite a lot for a society that is not yet that big. Obviously one day I would love us to be like one of these people that has like a council of 30 people, that would be great. But at the moment, do we really need a 10th person when, as we've seen this year, things like workshops and other social events can be shared between positions, making them easier to do?
Yeah.
Does anyone respond?
I'd be very happy if there were actual social events that were being run, but I've been a member for a year here, and apart from going to the pub on a Thursday night, I can remember one social event. And I think, yeah, you're right, having 10 people is quite a lot of people for a society, but we do have 270 members. You said we had 270? 220. And that's quite a lot of people that we could actually harness to come to social events. And it's one of those things where I don't think it's press related, and I don't think it's sort of internal convening, it's social. Most societies have a social coordinator. Every society I belong to, rugby and my dental society, we did have one. It works very well.
Kind of just want to introduce this as like the person who was the internal convener who asked that we have an outreach officer when this originally came up. The question that I would have is, why can't the open rep, second year rep, and first year rep, why can't that be a function that is shared among them? And for those of you who were there like a couple of years ago, I recognize that this is something that was brought up when I brought up the outreach officer. But if outreach has grown to the point where the school's competition takes up so much time, surely we can use other people within the council to take up that responsibility instead of adding a 10th member who would actually mean that there can't be a tiebreaker, which is also a kind of maybe a constitutional issue.
Yes, I don't want to be like really negative, but given the fact that like no one has stood quite for some of the positions that we're running, how are we going to get someone to run the social secretary if we can't fill up the committee positions we already have?
We have filled our committee positions.
Well, apart from the one we have filled. And the one that Sophie's not allowed to run for. That one.
No, that one has does have some.
Oh, does it have some? Yeah.
But are some of them uncontested?
Yeah, some of them have.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay, we're going to set the point. Yes.
Can I just ask, could you repeat the exact wording again? That's what I hear again.
And there will be a 10th position on the council entitled Social Secretary. The position will coordinate all social events, coordinating with the Treasurer to ensure that there's funding, and will take away from social responsibilities from the outreach officer.
I was just going to say, it's kind of a question, kind of a point on the thing. Like, that as a council, last year there was a lot of social events that, and actually it did prove that as a council we don't possibly need an extra person, that you can do it within the bounds of the council, the existing council. Like Tara, secretary, last year did so much in terms of charity and fundraising. It went to charity rather than us, but it was still events and stuff. I don't know if we actually need another position to be created.
Suggest an amendment? To the amendment? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I think that it would be nice if we institutionalize the fact that social events are important. So perhaps a friendly amendment, hopefully, could be to amend the role for the reps and say that this is within their remit and that they would be answering directly to perhaps the treasurer to deal with that remit.
Once someone is seconded, it don't be like 12. Yeah, don't be second that as well. Okay, I don't know how to deal with amendments to moments. Do I have to?
Do you wish to accept the amendment? Happily. Right, then Julia opens the
Okay, does it actually go to another like questions about the new amendment? How do you know this better than I do?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You own the motion. Does anyone object to the motion as it is by bringing it into the reps? Motion to vote, Madam President.
Okay, so everybody in favour of the motion to amend, no, to have it, to change our laws, put your hands up. And against it? Yeah.
All right. Basically, what he said.
Under reps.
Yes, it's going well. Yes.
I'll work with Craig to write out exactly and put it on the literate form.
Yeah, we'll put it online. So, but it has basically passed. Okay, are there any other amendments that anyone wants to bring forward? I'm getting a no.
I'm sorry. It annoys me. So last year at the last AGM, Stephen Goss, who's a former member, had a very beautifully written amendment where basically he went through the entire document and got rid of all the typos and all of the horrible, like annoying things that are inconsistent. It didn't actually change any substance of the laws. It was literally just typos. And then someone forgot to propose it. So all the work was done for naught. I would like to reintroduce that amendment. That was literally just typos.
Second.
Second.
I want to see that one.
Yeah, there are.
It's nothing like that, like, sacrificing a newborn child that we just pass without looking at it, you know?
Well, I suppose you're speaking against it.
Yeah, let's have it. Like, okay, I'm prepping for any issues like conference stuff, I've got my accountability head on, and we can't just pass something without reading it or hearing it, like, because it could be anything. I'm sure it's not, because I love Stephen Goss and I trust him. But, like, it could be something dodgy, and it's just bad practice for us not to read shit before we pass it.
You did have a curious attitude. I agree with literally everything you just said.
Thanks, Calvin.
Exceptional point.
Yes.
On that point, what we could potentially do then is something along the same lines as the friendly amendment, get a couple of councillors and ordinary members as a group to go through it and make sure that there is nothing in it, I'm sure. But also, it was put forward last year, so I'm assuming that people went through it then. Did Adam go through it last year?
You and Adam went through it?
Through Stephen's
Amendment?
Yeah, but that was a year ago. I have lots of stuff going on up here. I remember going through it and thinking it was fine, but I can't swear. I couldn't swear to that now.
Perhaps
Nice.
that would be an idea then, as we can bring constitutional amendments forward at
Another day.
debates, can't we?
Yes, we can.
So
Okay.
maybe Griffiths could look for it over Easter and make sure that it's all good and then bring it forward.
I redact my.
Okay, are there any other amendments just on that, or are we done with the amendments? Yes. I know. Okay, we're done. It makes me really happy. Okay, so the next thing is Honour Life membership. So for those of you who don't know, Honour Life membership is basically an award that we give a person. It's like acknowledging that they've done a lot for the society and they never have to pay membership again. And they're just a member forever. So it's pretty cool. I do have nominations for Honour Life membership. I have 5. I'm just wondering if anybody would like to nominate anyone else.
Can we hear who they are first?
Yeah. Actually, number 1, Calvin Black. Kieran Gallagher. Brendan Kelters. Finlay. And Adam Kidd. I really hope he's listening. He just giggled. Yes. And Henry Adams. Thank you. are there any other nominations before we go through these? Yeah.
Could I use something or Kelly?
Yeah. Now, do we have any other nominees? Okay, I take it. Yeah.
I have sort of a question. Are we gonna like choose one of these people or like?
No.
It's whether you go through each one and if you
Oh,
pick
right.
each one.
Yeah.
It's not a prize for one of them.
Yes. Coming from honor and life. Yes.
Do we have the new membership cards for honorary life members, and is that being rolled out retroactively to current members?
We don't have them yet.
Are they solid gold?
Yeah.
Yes. They'll be pretty.
I don't think there's nothing less.
We will get them, but anyway, no more nominees. Going once, going twice, taking that as no more. Okay. So you have to go through them. Do I have to do like proposition, opposition to these as well?
Read second, any objections?
Okay. Thanks, Andy. Okay, so going first. And Mr. Calvin Black, do we have a secretary? Okay, do you have any objections? Yay!
Thank you.
Okay.
You have to do that for all 7 people now, or else it's
Yeah, we're gonna do that. It's gonna be really fun. Let's just get better and better at it until we get to the last one. Okay. Mr. Kieran Gallagher, any secretaries? Okay, any objections?
Do we want to be associated with the union president? Is that a thing?
This is a real concern.
Okay. Can I speak on that?
Yeah.
Kieran has been a stalwart member of the society for many years. He's been a great help to us for a lot of reasons, and I know that there's a sort of slightly bitter rivalry going back about 100 years or so between the Linerific, which is the old proper union, and the pretenders across the road. But Kieran has used his position as a pretender with some kind of semblance of authority, and he's helped us out a lot. He's a very considered member, and I think he's the sort of person we should be extending honorary life membership to.
Yes.
He has left students' unions meetings early to come and speak.
Well, exactly.
He's not president of the Would anyone else like to speak on that?
I would say that in his pledge to be president of the Students' Union, he promised us cannons on top of the building. There were what?
It's in engineering. They're building one as we speak. Well, not as we speak, because it's like.
I withdraw my objection.
Anyone else? No, do we have to go to a vote now? So everybody who wants to give Kieran Gallagher honorary life membership, please.
Aye.
And anyone who does not, please say nay. Okay, so he gets it. Okay, Mr. Brandon Kelters, secondary. He's got a nice harmony going on. Do you have any objections?
None.
Yes.
When he got the egg for the best comment, he donated it to a homeless guy.
Oh no!
Madam President, if I may make one humble request, that whenever Mr. Kelters receives his membership card from now until the day that he dies, it be inserted Brendan, briefly Mr.
I won't even go to a vote. Okay, so Brendan gets it.
Slow down all this debates.
Okay, so Mr. Johnny Finlay, do I need a second? Any objections? So he gets it!
Democracy in action.
Don't even go here!
Actually, can I retroactively?
Too late.
He's abandoned us for the Oxford unions.
I know. Okay, President Emeritus Adam Kidd.
Seconded.
Really? Do we have any objections?
Yeah, he's not here.
Can I
Sorry,
make a point? Can I make a point?
Yes, you can make a point. Sorry.
In the name of Mr. Carruthers' idea, can we have Mr. Adam Shimmerzine Kidd?
Yep.
That's a joke for last year's.
You think that, but I've gotten a few times as well. So nobody wants to object? Anyone? Anyone?
Can we go on with it anyway?
Yeah, if we're talking about nice things that people have done, and that means they deserve worship as it does, he adopted a puppy that he found abandoned on the side.
The bus driver was always This is true. He's teaching at a school in Jordan.
Okay, we need to continue. Why would someone shoot a puppy? It's a bit rich coming from you, Carruthers. Decided to disrupt the whole room. Anyway, so Adam gets it. And next is Mr. Henry Adams. Do I have a seconder? Alright. Do I have any objections?
Yeah,
He's not here.
we're losing a lot of income. He might be paying membership fees next year.
On that point,
Yeah.
Henry's coming back to be a student next year, so you're only get £3 on phone.
That's true, yeah.
Well, he also paid the associate membership fee, which some people don't feel they need to.
Mums are all
It is supposedly to encourage as well alumni to hopefully give us donations in the future, like on our life membership card. Look at it, yeah.
Is that what this is? Have I told something
We never scam you guys. We need to vote on this. Oh, it's yours. Here it is. Okay, everybody who wants to give Mr. Henry Adams on our life membership. Everyone who doesn't, please say there. So he gets it! Oh, what a beautiful list of honorary life members we do have. And so we're going to go to council elections now. Good point! Thank you for reminding me. Okay, I think this is the last one, unless I've written somewhere else as well. Mr. Oren candidate, do we have a seconder? Do we have any objections? Yeah, so yes! And don't forget.
There's no females. There's no females on that
Maybe
list.
we should have nominated one.
Structural discrimination is.
Both of the women that I wanted to nominate are running this year, so I was like, I'm going to wait till next year. There were a lot of women that I wanted to nominate.
See, women are just getting stuff done. That's the real problem. Okay, yes, so we're going to the council elections now. According to the laws, we have to go in the following order, just so you know what's going on. It will go president, secretary, treasurer, external convener, internal convener, and then outreach officer, and then we're going to be doing open rep and then second year rep. So, does anybody have a problem with this?
Does anyone mind if we pass a motion to do treasurer first? I've got a flight back to London at 8:55.
Seconded.
Okay, so everyone in favour of putting treasurer first? Everyone's against? Please say
Are
no.
there any objections from people who may be running for treasurer but running for something previous? No.
So anyone against? No? Okay, so we will start with treasurer. So speeches will be 2 minutes long. I'll ring the bell after the first 2 seconds and then at 1 minute 30 just so you know when to close. And then we'll have a few questions after everybody has spoken. So we're going to go to people running for treasurer. So currently we have 2 nominees for treasurer, Miss Gemma Canham and Craig Miller. Does anybody else want to nominate themselves for this position? No? Okay, so I'd like to welcome Christian to make a
Well, good evening. Thank you for having me. I firstly like to start out with just a few of the plans I would have if I were the treasurer of the society. So a lot of the focus that I'd like to have this year would be on fundraising. So I would really enjoy having a lot more social events where we can really try and get as many people in and outside of the society involved as possible. Just to kind of raise money, A, for the society to send people to various competitions all over Ireland and potentially further afield if possible, but might take quite a lot for that, judging by the price of EasyJet flights home. And the second thing I'd like to raise money for would just be one kind of big social event that we'd have in the year. Obviously we had the Christmas dinner, but it would be really, really nice to kind of have something like a formal or a ball at the end of the year, just to kind of get everybody together, current members, life members, and just alumni if possible, just to get a bit more dollar. And where am I? Yeah, a couple of social events that I would really like to organise would be, for example, a literary quiz, debate-a-thon, can you see the theme? And other debate-related activities. Can't think of anything else really very funny. On to the actual treasuring bit. I am quite experienced in budgeting a very small amount of money, thanks to Finance England. So I will really, really attempt to run a profit. I've managed just about with my own finances this year, £30 until 20th of April. So yes, to sum up, vote for me. I have really great taste in old lady clothes and Disney princess jumpers, and I do quite a good job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I'd like to welcome Craig Miller to make a speech.
The motion early. Sorry, I've got to leave. With me, you get experience. I've been a treasurer of the Dental Society with my first degree for 2 years. I returned a profit both years. The money raised went off to buy African children dental equipment, which somebody on an elective took out for them. I run a business which I sold for a profit. I currently run a profitable business now. I know how to lodge paperwork. I've been doing it for the last 10 years of my life with Companies House. In terms of what I want to do with this society, I want to work with the current outreach to basically start selling advertising on our website. We've got 17,000 hits. At the current rate, which is 50p per hit per month, we're about £1,000 down just by not selling advertising space. I want to work with the current external convener because we've got an IV that we've raised funding for, which we can make more money from and grow that. The bigger the event, if it's over 2 days, we make more money the following year. In terms of working with the new external convener, we need, as spoken in Ben Murphy's documentation, we need to get a document together to raise sponsorship for further events. In terms of social events, we've already discussed that. It's going down to the second year reps. I think Gemma's up for that already, so that would be a great position to fill both of us with. I have experience and I know how to run a successful ship.
So if both candidates could get together up there, just so it's easier to ask you questions. So we're just going to have a few questions. So does anybody have a question? Yeah.
So just as a current customer, one of the things that we realised this year about the is sort of to do with the grant money, amount of money that we have in our own accounts. And obviously we want to turn a profit, and that's great, but the money that we get from the union is based upon how much we send out. So saying that we're going to turn a profit, saying that we're going to fundraise is great, but we also need to make sure that we're spending that money. So things like for the conference yearly and that sort of thing, how would you propose to make sure that the social events you're proposing would be big enough to use that money?
Okay, Gemma, would you like to respond first?
Okay, well, I would I definitely work with the reps from each year just to make sure that every school kind of gets some sort of notification, be it posters, constant annoying emails, just so we know that people know that the event is happening. I would make sure that we kind of, any catering that we did, any kind of bar we did, we always got the best deal out of that, just so we could kind of make the best amount of profit out of that social event, and make sure that we had kind of this, just try and build up a bit of excitement around it and make people kind of want to be there.
The main reason I want to be raising money is basically to send people to IVs and to competitions throughout Ireland and mainland UK. I think one of the reasons why we don't send as many people as we could is finances. If finances are there, they probably get spent on transportation costs. So that's the main reason why I want to be raising money.
Do we have any other questions?
You've both talked a lot about what you would do with the role as individual council members, but I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about maybe your experience working as part of a team, as it is a real team player role at Treasury.
Gemma, would you like to start again?
Well, I'm currently working as the novice manager for the Queen's Rowing Club, and that's with 2 other girls, and that involves a lot of communication with the rest of the committee members, with our coaches, with the head coach, and with the girls as well. So I've got quite a lot of experience in just kind of getting people together and organising. I'm really quite good at colour-coded spreadsheets. So I think, yeah, I've got that experience, and throughout school and everything, throughout sixth form, I've always been on a lot of committees and just kind of always been a person that likes people.
When I was the dental treasurer in Manchester, I got re-elected, which basically shows that I could work in that team environment there. In terms of what I've said in my manifesto, I've got to be working with everybody. I've mentioned the outreach project, I've mentioned the internal and external conveners. So these are the things that all I'm there as a treasurer is to basically facilitate what they want to do. That would be the treasurer's job. Like, we're behind the scenes and they're the ones looking forward, doing the things. We're just making it financially viable for them to do what they want to do.
We'll have one more question. I want to see if I can get one of these to pretend it.
Rock, paper, scissors. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Scissors.
What has happened?
I suppose I have a question, I think, more for Craig specifically, actually. 2 questions. The first one, you mentioned you have various sort of involvements with various business interests and education beyond society. Now, we all have at least education beyond society, but are you confident that you'll be able to find time for the demanding role of treasurer within that schedule? That's my first question. The second question is in regards to the idea of selling advertising space on the Litterific website. I would be very, very skittish about that as a move that the society should make, because it's moving too far as I'm concerned, being a commercial venture in a very strong way. Now, perhaps it's okay, we should run a balanced budget and be able to fund people to travel to competitions, but at the same time, I don't think the society is a business, and I don't want to move us too far into that territory, and I'm not sure whether or not, I think the House may or may not may share that sympathy.
Okay. To give you an idea on timekeeping, I managed to watch the entirety of House of Cards last week. So yeah, I've got the time. I might have to cancel my Netflix membership. Time-wise, I've got. In terms of if people aren't happy with taking it down that sort of venture, then I would be happy to work with the new council and the existing house. And if people didn't want it, then we just wouldn't do it. I don't know who would make that decision. I don't know if it would be the council or the house, but the president who's elected would tell me that, who gets the final say. And if it's not something that the house wants to do, then we just don't go down that route.
Alright.
Timekeeping wise, since I was about 7, I've been doing something every single night of the week, and my mum's hated it. She's been driving me around everywhere. Now she's got rid of me, and I have to walk places. But I have pretty good timekeeping skills. My uni work kind of falls a bit by the wayside. Hey ho, it's not what we're here for. And as for advertising as well, I don't really I hadn't even thought about it really.
Okay, so we're going to vote now, but if you could all just wait a moment, we're going to go and stand over there and hand you out the sheets and the pens, and you'll like kind of flow in and out of the Senate room. Just like flow in, leave your card, leave, and bring your membership card with you. I will look you up on the membership list, but if you haven't, please bring it, it makes it easier.
I've got my taxi in 15 minutes.
Okay. Speech. It's okay. I'm sure Greg will get his thing. Everybody calm. Okay, so we're going to go to our president elections next and then just continue with the actual order. And so we again have 2 nominees, Miss Alex Philpott and Miss Mary-Lee Sinnott. Someone for this position? No?
Can we not get Andrew again?
Andrew, do you want to be nominated again?
I graciously reject that. I have done my time.
Okay, so I can close nominations? Okay, nominations are closed. Okay, so I'd like to welcome Miss Alex Philpott to make her speech.
Good evening, everyone. If you're not entirely sick of looking at me this year already. Basically, I'm not going to probably speak for the whole 2 minutes. I would just like to take the opportunity tonight to say that regardless of how the vote goes, you guys are going to get a president that cares a lot about the society. On behalf of me and Mary-Louise both, I think we've both talked about it a lot in our manifestos, how much time we've already given and how much we want to see the society succeed just because of how much it means to both of us, not because of any individual agendas. I also want to thank the current council because, as I'm sure Mary-Louise will agree with me, this year has thrown up a lot of obstacles for council. I can tell you that, as my role as secretary, vice president and as acting president for a few weeks, which we don't mention. there was some difficulty, but I think we came through it, and so both of us I think have proved why we want to run and how we could do the job well. But again, that wouldn't have been possible without the dedication and hard work of the council that we have behind us. So I'd like to thank you guys for making it easier and for bringing us into success as well. You all deserve to be thanked for that. As well as that, I'd like to thank our ordinary members because you all guys, you stuck through us, stuck with it through us. He showed loyalty and commitment, and our membership has grown throughout the year, even though we had those obstacles. So thank you for that. That's really the reason why I'm going to run for president, because I think our members deserve someone who wants to push it forward, because you stuck with us this year. So next year we'll bring it further still. As you know, with regards to what I want to do, making Thursday nights the event of the week, really. Putting the ordinary members back at the top of the agenda is really, in a nutshell, what I want to do. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Now let's welcome Ms. Marley Sinnott to make her.
Only one with the sort of semi-scripted things that you talk about myself. Okay, so quick. You've literally stolen like the first 30 seconds of my speech. So again, it's just thanking all of you, and again, whoever you elect, everybody who's up running for positions this year will be fantastic. So the vote will, the vote will be great anyway. I would just like to say, if you don't know me, Outreach Officer, everybody on Facebook met me before. So Outreach Officer this year, previous year was Treasurer, and the year before that was Internal Convener. 2 years before that was just an ordinary member of debating and mooting for the first year. So I am really, really old, and I've been here for 5 years, and happy for a sixth. That would be nice. But yeah, I think continuity. We talked about this a lot last year. Our elections, continuity of the society, I suppose, and archives, love archives, building up archives, things like that. I think with this year, I really have a lot of being the longest serving council member, which is so depressing. I've attended all of the events, well, not all, but a lot of events. Weekly meetings, Irish Times finals, semi-finals, quarterfinals, everything we've hosted as well. Expanded last year, chairing debates, grand, humour, unbiased, I promise, because I don't care about politics. Literary Room, I'm sure you've seen me post there a lot. So my initial plan for president is to meet with, I know last year, the crossover, there's a lot of ideas in our current council that our previous council could bring forward to next year. And I think having a meeting with last year's internal convener and this year's internal convener, and having the president facilitate that would be, bringing ideas together and trying to come up with a plan for the year would be good. Helping the new council to figure out Google Docs, which is great, because Google Docs, again, continuity, stuff like that. We can print them all out and have them in the archive. Private members' business, I would like to make private members' business more of a thing this year, trying to bring forward many debates and trying to get people to sort of stir up a wee bit of motion on Facebook, maybe put forward a private members' motion that we can bring up. And as I've done a lot of things in the role, all of these roles, basically done everything, done a lot of the jobs, I would be here to help everybody. And social calendar, which would include random Thursday night or Tuesday nights at cinema, stuff like that, because I'm running out of time and cinema's I'm running out of time.
Ran out of time about 40 seconds ago. Okay, so again, can I get the candidates to stand over there? Just everyone can see you. No, these are all of our nominees.
Changes.
Let's concentrate. Look at our nominees. Concentrate. Okay, so does anybody have questions for our nominees?
Yes, both candidates stressed continuity. I just wanted to ask who could offer more continuity and how?
Marley's.
Continuity. I think with I don't know, I have been here a while, and I think we both would do a good job, a really good job on it. Continuity, I think my stress would be on putting things in archives. It would be trying to bring forward ideas from before, as I said, and put them into this year's council, next year's council, and try and sort of build the framework for the year afterwards, so that the year after's council wouldn't have as much to do. I think my role as vice president, being secretary this year, I'm kind of in a firm position to take up the presidency. You know, I've been acting president for a few weeks, so continuity with the chairing, I think, is an important aspect. But also, as well as continuity, I think moving with the evolving membership. You know, we had a really new membership this year, and being able to move with that and kind of get a feeling for what our members want at any current time is as important as keeping with the old traditions as well.
Okay. Do you have another question for me? Owen?
I think something Ms. Philpott touched on was putting ordinary members back at the top of the pile on Thursday nights, make an event, and Ms. Sinnott did touch on things that she would want to change to make better. Sort of what would you want to change to make better?
Sure. I think this year we've seen less ordinary members coming to our council meetings, and that is something that I talked about a little bit in the manifesto. So bringing them back into the decision-making process, like literally hearing their voices heard. I would like the reps to have more of an encouraging voice to get them to come to council meetings rather than being the middleman of opinion, rather than listening to their complaints or constructive criticism and just relaying it to us. I'd rather get them in and have their own voice. So that's a key way, that's a practical way to put it at the top of the agenda. But I would like more of a council focus between the members or when we're elected and when the first year rep becomes elected in October. If we can just keep more member-minded rather than the special events, the special speakers, and just keep our members, front and centre when we're making those decisions. Yeah, I think we sort of, even to build on this year, is like the fact we do have the letter from, we do have a suggestion star, we do have things that, council meetings, I think that members don't come because they don't really know when they are maybe. So posting more about that, and just sort of making members even more aware that they can be, as Alex said, they can be part of the decision. But as well as like putting in member benefits, such as going to the cinema on Tuesday, or going to dinner, or having a calendar that people would go, oh, Monday night, this is on, I can go to dinner with these people. That it doesn't have to be all debate focused. But I mean, like a couple of years ago as well, we were just like going to random lunches, and it was more like a friend group, as well as like a debating society and a bit of arguing.
Okay, we'll take one more question. Oh, you're like right there.
Just was wondering, just because this is something that has come up at several councils, previous councils. I know you were talking about putting members first, but do either of you have any plans for tapping into the vast network of alumni that we have, not just recent, but also from many, many years ago?
I think why I think that is that I saw the Debating Matters, but on their Facebook they have like an alumni section on the Facebook, and I haven't quite figured out how to get that on yours. I was looking into it. I think as well we do have the website that I don't think alumni maybe know about us. And sort of promote the meeting, the annual fund, and things like that. If we can do that, I think that even president, it's that the other members of council need to know that they can do that, and the president facilitates their decisions as well and helps them. If that answers your question.
Yeah, I've been working a lot with the annual fund this year, which is basically reliant on Queen's General alumni, and that's been a great channel to kind of get us, as well as into the wider university, get our general alumni more interested in thinking, actually, yeah, maybe I didn't have that at Queen's, but it's something that I could use, it's a channel that I could use to get back into Queen's and get more involved. With regards to our honorific alumni, maybe something like an honorary life members reception or a specific event that they would all be invited to perhaps show the young ones how it's done. Stuff like that, keep them involved, keep them in contact. As well, the trust is a great way of doing that as well. A few honorary life members are on that, and they do help us when we have the really tough decisions to make. We always consult the trust. So I think that might be a channel that we can really maximise on as well.
Okay, so that's all the questions that we're going to have. So, I know we're only having like 3 questions. We had to agree on it earlier on. That's why I'm stopping these at 3 questions. So it's going to be the same voting as last time. So give us a second to actually get there and get the cards. drum roll. Next person on the order begins. Miss Marley is still in. Very impressed. Okay, so the next election is for Secretary of the Society. So we have 3 nominees for this position, Mr. Owen Mulholland, Mr. Robbie Whitehurst, and Miss Rosie Watterson. Would anyone else like to nominate someone for this position? No? Okay, nominations are closed. I'm just giving you the option. You never know what will happen. Okay, so I would like to welcome Mr. Owen Mulholland.
Hello everyone. For those who don't know me, Owen, as Tara said, I am a master's student of chemical engineering at Queen's at the moment. I'm in my 5th year, and I will be starting a PhD in the coming September in the School of Pharmacy and the School of Mechanical Engineering, which is a big point of something I want to bring to the role. So I've gone for secretary, but I'm also going for internal convener because being part of the Olympic is something that I want. So coming from a chemical engineering and chemistry background, then going into the School of Pharmacy as well as the School of Mechanical Engineering, it's having all that exposure, all those people, all those contacts to pollute their inboxes with litterific, get them to come and up the numbers of council members, board members and everyone there. As well as that, I've been part of the LGBT Society, as well as the Chess Society, things like that, and I have contacts. I can make brag here. And I've sort of taken that as well, sort of the science background, that I want to sort of influence certain debates and things like that. In terms of the actual secretarial role, I've worked for L'Oreal. I was a project manager, free samples, contact me after. So being a project manager, I took on a lot of roles in that. You are sort of president of the project, you're also secretary, you're treasurer, you look after all those things, and you take minutes, you write them up, you make sure they are perfect, and you send them out as soon as possible. Something I want to bring to the role is sort of getting those minutes written up perfectly and uploaded for people to read as soon as possible. Also minutes of council meetings sent out to ordinary members, something I haven't seen, and it's something that I want to bring because it keeps them updated at all times. So if there's anything that they wish to contribute, it's there. Other things too, I helped out in schools competition, I was judged in that, things like that. There was no minutes taken of something like that, which is sort of, things like that need to be done to show what we are doing as a society, putting our name out there, and if people want information on it, it is there. So thank you very much. Hope that was okay. And whoever you go for, I know it's going to be, they're going to be good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, and I'd welcome Mr. Robbie Whitehurst to make the speech.
Members of the House, as many of you know, I care deeply for this wonderful society. In light of this, I decided to prepare for tonight with the same intensity all of us are devoted to an important coursework assignment. So late last night, I began. I slammed 42 Pro Plus. I got back from Ollie's and I googled the word secretary. 6 months ago, during freshers, nervous as hell, I stumbled upon a certain society known as the Litterific. I attended the opening debate of the year, This House Would Get Naked. And the very second the line, working men of the world, we have nothing to lose but our clothes, was uttered, I knew I was at home. Since then, I've spoken in multiple House debates, including being voted the best speaker at the Halloween debate, which I'm sure you all fondly remember. I also travelled down to Dublin for the Irish Mace, where we progressed to the second round. In addition, I also have experience sitting at the head of the table, as I chaired the This House Believes Abortion is the Man's Choice 2 motion, where I effectively show my capability in presiding over one of the more difficult motions of the year. As some of you may know, I pledged to give my first minutes in rap form, so there's something. I held a position as secretary back at Ballymena Academy, and as a budding English student and budding journalist, taking the minutes has always been something that I'd love to do and that I'd thrive in doing. As your secretary, I promise that you will never, ever be bored. You may be frightened, confused, and slightly aroused in places. In addition, I'm familiar with the inner workings of society. I've attended multiple council meetings and have a great working relationship with Madam President-elect. So, why vote for me? For the amount that the letterific has given me, you can be in no doubt that I'll give everything in return as your secretary. The pleasure, the privilege is mine.
Thank you, and now I'd like to welcome Ms. Rosie Watson to make her speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, I always hate speaking after Robbie because he's so funny. I like to think I'm funny, but never compared to you. Imagine the scene. This time next year, we walk into the SU and we pick up the prize for the best academic society. We win it, and we win it easy, and that's because everyone in Queen's knows that the Litterific has the best workshops, it has the most talented speakers, and it offers the most support to students of any academic society within Queen. Moreover, everybody knows that the Litterific doesn't let anyone slip through the net. Every single person who is a member of the Litterific has a one-to-one relationship with their council. They know that their development and their participation is important, and they are offered opportunities to improve their development and improve their speaking that suit them. I really believe this is the society that we can be and the society that we want to be. I believe that we can do this by having a stronger relationship between the council and the members. And I believe that this year is the year that nobody gets left behind, that every single member feels more confident being a part of the society, and that whether they speak or not, everyone feels as though they can go into an interview, give a presentation and ace it. And I think as a debating society, as a public speaking society, I really think that is our duty to our members, and I think that's maybe something that's been missed, and that's what I'd really like to spend this year doing. So if that's your dream for the Litterific, because it is mine. It'd be great if you could vote for me. Thank you.
Okay, if I could get our candidates to stand there, can go down. Your hands are gonna get so tired. You're gonna totally regret clapping this much. Okay, so we're gonna take 3 questions again. So.
No, I was just wondering, one of the other things that falls under the role of secretary is the membership, and do any of you have any new ideas for getting more and more members?
Shall I start? Or?
Please start, yes.
I have a lot of publicity experience. I'm a publicity officer for Queen's Political Review, and I've also been into publicity for an online student newspaper, and I feel like publicity's not been something that we've been pushing, and I really believe that we can promote ourselves as the key to public speaking and the key to confidence and the key to securing that interview, or the key to being confident when you thought you couldn't give a point of information, that actually you've got a support structure and now you can. And that's how I feel we should be promoting the society. That's how I feel we've maybe missed, because I think we're greater than we know and we're greater than the rest of Queen's knows.
Well, talking about publicity, back in Ballymena Academy, for those of you who don't know, but in Ballymena, we dominate the Litterific every year. Back in Ballymena, rugby absolutely dominates football in every aspect, and football got absolutely no voice whatsoever. As part of the football team, I created and curated the football Twitter account, where I got just about 100 followers in a few weeks. I speak on behalf of the football club still. Still do.
Conflict of interest.
I wrote the end of year review for the debating society, the football report, and the players as well. I'm experienced in publicising whatever I'm about.
So I know sort of getting members in, something I talked about, sort of the connection with several different schools, societies within the university. As secretary, whoever is elected would be in charge of the stand at the Freshers' Fair, something I mentioned in my manifesto, could be corner, to make that happen. Bringing in sort of branding, something these two have talked about as well, working for L'Oreal, branding was a part of that too. So it's things like slogans and things like that. It's like, become the master of debating with... Could go either way. Who knows? So, yeah, things like that. Branding, getting people involved, having fun things that people will be like, oh, I'm going to come for Owen's fresh baked cookies every week. Something like that. So, yeah.
Do you have any other questions?
I want to bring it back a little bit more towards the debate aspect. When we think of, the secretary position, in terms as well as the counterparts down south, we sort of have names like Adam Kidd, Andy Carruthers, Sarah McHale, Michael real powerhouses of Irish debating now. What I wanted to ask you, and Robbie's mentioned it briefly, is just sort of how you guys are going to put the leader looking forward to senior members in the external competitions, and how you feel would be best representative of us in external competitions.
I'm just going to humbly point out that I only God came to me, which I'm still completely psyched about. So I've only been a part of the society for a year, but actually I think that shows that I am passionate about it and I do care about it, and I'm not terrible. And also, I would really like if once a month, maybe we could try a different debating style. I mean, not only would that make it a bit more interesting for everybody, but also it means that our teams would be more ready to go to other universities and to kick their asses at their own game, especially at the Mace. Just saying.
I'll get to the Mace in a minute. In terms of debating and speaking, it's not much to speak about the Halloween debate. I won it on my own. I've chosen as the best speaker there. I'm the only one of the candidates who has experience speaking at the head of the table, as I share the event again, James, as you know, that's what is in this room. Maybe want to repress that memory. But, I show my ability in presiding over a very, very difficult debate. I show how I can control over a very, very tense motion. In terms of advancing our ability in external competitions, what was raised earlier on in terms of how money will be sought to send us overseas, it was very, very exciting. And again, what Rosie said about how we should concentrate much, much more on what exactly they look for. I went to a workshop earlier on in the year, I think Alex was the one that organised it, where we looked very, very specifically before the Irish Mace at what was exactly required of us, what exactly they look for, the things that would get you real brownie points. I think that really, really helped us in the end. So I very much like to continue in that line.
And sort of, in terms of speaking at debates things, the last debate I actually was outside of Litterflick last week on whether or not global warming is anthropogenic or not. So in terms of actual experience with debate, it's not like I'm a novice or anything. Last time I spoke at the Litterflick debate was second year. I think actually when there was like 2 people showed up. We went to the pub with Paul Shannon after it was great. In terms of actual qualifications, I have certificates. From actual bodies on public speaking. It's something I did as a kid and through my teenage years a lot. If you want them, see me after. I think I'll be a copy. Things like that. That coursework last week also, I got first, so. In terms of getting into debates, public speaking I know is something I can do, I'm good at it. Getting into a topic is something I'm very good at as well. I can take something, make it my own, and research it a lot. Hence why I'm doing a PhD as well, I guess. But confident speakers, someone who's going to promote the society, you can be sure that I do that.
Okay, and so we'll take one more question. Yes.
So as we've already said, membership is something that comes under the secretary's role. But I just want to shift the focus from getting new members to looking at existing membership. It's a bit of a sore subject in the society that there's a bit of a clique and we can be quite cliquey, and sometimes people who have already signed up don't come back to us because they don't feel as welcome. And I think that's something the Secretary would be pivotal in. I just wonder what you'd like to do to sort of combat that issue.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, do I want to go again?
Yes.
Sure, I'm just going to go. Yeah, I think that's very important. On the one hand, I agree with you, but I also think that cliques was maybe an issue, because I've only been here this year, but I think it was maybe an issue of the year before. And I think now it's not so much cliques is a problem. I think it's more making sure that every single member feels that their speaking and their participation is really important. I think it's too easy for people to come in, sit on the back rows, to watch and to enjoy it, but actually, in all honesty, they don't get any more confident from doing that, and they're possibly not as pushed to give points of information or to just ask questions or to even speak if they feel like they're ready for that. And I feel like maybe as secretary, I'd really like to make sure that the reps and myself have a one-to-one friendly relationship with all the members. Do it one day, I'm not boss you, but that they know what people want from the society and that everyone feels like their participation, that someone's rooting for them is what I want this year, and I think that'd be the way to move forward.
Yeah, that's a great question. Glad you asked. It's something that it's very easy to say that. It's great that we know everyone here, everyone knows everything. To an extent, that's exactly what I don't want. I want people who I've never seen before. I want people who I'm going to meet for the first time. Like, hey, why have you come along to debate? And even coming here, you meet amazing people, and you learn so much more from debate. I don't think she's here tonight, but I'm going to slightly embarrass her. Ellen Murray during the LGBT North and T debate. Listening to her, someone as a member of the trans community, speaking about trans issues, like, wow. Like, I've never had that experience before. You know, some people will go to, sort of seminars and stuff, but we get that here. Thank you, James.
Continue with your answer. Let's just leave him to deal with that.
And in terms of getting new people to come, I'd love to work really close with the outreach officer. As I said before, I'm really, really experienced in publicity with regards to social media, something I consider I'm very good at. I'd love to work in there. Do just like little funny things. Like I looked up in UI Galway, they do a bring your own motion night, where anyone can come, bring their motion, and doesn't tip. Anyone can bring, anyone can come, and they bring the motion on the night. I also thought, speaking of House of Cards, we should do a This House of Cards, where we do this. Guys. So yeah, long and short, I'd love to really work with the outreach officer to improve publicity and bring people to more freaking amazing society.
For me, I guess it's something that's been touched on earlier tonight as well, sort of upping the social calendar of the society. Going back second, third year again, things like that, we did go out to lunches and things, and it was simple things like that, half an hour during the day. I don't know if you remember, I did the pizza challenge with the literature. I threw up after it was. It wasn't great. I have a t-shirt though. I can show you after the. So things like, yes, going to cinemas, going to lunches, it's things like that. I find if you have cliques, you go there every week to stay with your clique. But if you break down the clique barriers and everyone comes together, people are a lot more. They would want to invite more of their friends there to make it a bigger thing, rather than they're going to see specific 3 people, for drinks afterwards kind of thing. And it's breaking that down, and it's things like social events outside of the debate that will help build that up, build up our numbers, more members, more money, more fun. Okay.
Okay, so yeah. For voting, give us like 2 seconds. be running. And does anybody want to nominate someone for this position? Oh, I thought we were going to take the sneeze as the nominee. Clearly that's the nominee, because you have to say the person.
I nominate Rosie.
Rosie, would you like?
I'm already running.
Yeah.
You're running for another position. You can't just position. So would anybody? Okay, so it goes uncontested.
Speech, questions.
Can I at least get my speech?
Yeah.
So I guess the purpose of this speech is basically to tell you what I plan to do this year, and yeah, I can pretty much do whatever the hell I want this year. Shush!
Everybody quiet, please
Anyway,
continue your speech.
Basically, I'm a first year law student. I should be second year, but I enjoyed first year so much I don't want to do it again. So I've had lots of experience with this society. I've spoken at many debates. This house would get naked, this house would make sex tape, many debates that don't involve genitalia or taking your clothes off or anything like that. I've really enjoyed going to, I went to the Irish Times just before Christmas there, and I thought that was probably the pinnacle of my experience here. I'd like to build on that. I'd like to have that experience again. Getting the train down to Dublin with Craig, and Craig at every stop going, are we in Ireland yet? But really, I'd like us to not only go to Ireland, I'd like us to be one of the main competitive universities within Ireland. I'd like us to make connections across the water. I've already infiltrated Glasgow University Dialectic Society. I feel like Kilkenny or the Cambridge Circle, or whatever you want to call it. But basically, I'd like, my main goal for this year is to get at least one team to either the Glasgow University IB and get them to come here, which they will. I believe we already have names down for our university, which, as I've said in the manifesto, which will have caviar and port in fountains. Not in the same fountain, because that's disgusting. There will be two separate fountains, both for caviar and for port. But yeah, I hope with your, I'd say vote, but I have no democratic legitimacy whatsoever. Yeah, let's make a good year of it.
Do you want to stand there? The position of reopening nominations, also known as Ron, will be taken up by that space in the corner. I think he's a bit of a quiet lad though, so don't expect an answer.
Do you give an empty chair?
No, it's Barack Obama.
Okay, so do you have any questions?
I was just going to say, it's been a thing for all externals, but in terms of like very grand, brilliant aims, but people drop out. What would be your way of dealing with that?
Well, I'd like to say with fire and brimstone, but I think it's a bit harsh. I understand that the external role is somewhat limited by the money we have, and I think the issue we run into this year is like there's not as much of a financial carrot to get people out. No, that's a terrible metaphor. To get people to actually go down to IVs and stuff like that. And I did lots of research of this over the past fortnight, and I looked at how other universities make how they work their funding, and I think the first thing that I would do is, it doesn't really sound as an external thing, but the first thing I would do as external convener is to help Craig and the treasurer to draft a document that we would send out to large businesses in Northern Ireland, pretty much graduate recruitment type jobs, like PwC, those sorts of places, and say, the people we have here, everyone here is fantastic, absolutely, and I'm not trying to curry favour, but we're all fantastic speakers, most of us, anyway. But yeah, the skills that we offer them are invaluable, and they should be throwing money at us. I'll be telling them such in the letter. That's what I do, basically. I hope I answered your question. I'm not sure if I did or not.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, it's sort of related to the same thing, is that people do keep mentioning external in relation to finance stuff, and that is great. But again, to sort of go back to issues, sometimes people do just drop out. Sometimes last minute people do just drop out. Sometimes you get emails at 12:30 at night where someone tells you you've been fined an awful lot of money for no good reason, and then you start to worry a lot. And just in terms of, I mean, I have found it stressful, but I've loved it. So in terms of how do you plan to deal with that last minute stress? Because that's what external is.
Well, I'd like to think that at least in the coming year, when we organise in external competitions, we always have a large pool of people that we can call upon, and if that does happen, I'd like to think that we have maybe at least one, maybe even 3 or 5 reserves who are ready to step up to the mark and go on that debate. I mean, I don't know anyone who wouldn't want to be in reserve to go down to Dublin and have a massive great debate. Sorry, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll have one more question.
For me personally, I think one of the most important debates that run in the country is one that we haven't really, as far as I know, actually had any involvement in, is the novice debate ran from, I think, Trinity. But I'd love from you is how you would encourage our new debaters next year to come in and basically just give them the courage to go down into this debate, because I think really it is a very important thing for the national community to consider.
Well, I think it's more about taking the daunting aspect out of debating altogether. I mean, personally, I like to see debates where there's not. It sounds a bit weird, and I haven't really exactly worked out the idea just yet. But it's sort of like a game of tennis where you have around the world, and someone will stand up and will sort of defend a point for as long as they can. And everyone who sits in the chamber can come up and they can do the rest to argue with them. And you sort of have people watching and going, okay, we have the crowd who are sitting watching, sort of marking out of 10, okay, who made the best point there, whoever loses, they leave, next person in the crowd comes up, and you have sort of a continually circulating, nobody in the room escapes having to speak at any point. And that might put, people on the spot, but I think because it's absolutely everyone, it removes the aspect of, oh, I'm going to be such an awful debater. Everyone in that room is going to have that feeling. So, some of you might consider that a baptism of fire. I would consider that a catharsis, really. To take this turn. Maybe that's a terrible idea.
Okay, so we will actually have to go to a vote. So you can either vote for the lovely Ben Murphy, or you can vote to reopen nominations, which means we'll have another vote in the future. Okay, so you know the deal. Give us 2 seconds. Get it go.
Whoa.
He knows again.
That's a good photo. Okay, so I have a vote for the other guy, which I don't know who that's referring to, and also for Cthulhu. And to the people who voted for these people, no. Are you just saying people who are leaving me weird messages in the suggestion jar? I guess so. You all have issues with free paper and pens. But we do have a winner. And it is, of course, Ben Murphy. So we're making our way through this. The next election is for internal convener. And guys, It's currently going uncontested with Mr. Owen I cannot say your name. Mulholland. Frick. Owen. I'm just gonna refer to Owen.
I got your name.
Owen. I will learn, I promise. Does anybody want to nominate someone for this position? Honey, she's getting a lot of them. Yes?
I'd like to nominate Ms. Russo Walters.
I would like to run for it.
Yes, but we can't do that because you're running for 2 positions
But
already.
what if I found a replacement for open work?
It's too late.
No, that's not, unfortunately that's not the point. The point is once we have submitted the nominations, those are the positions that you have put yourself forward.
Okay,
It's not going to be allowed this year if you withdraw from one position to be allowed to run for another one. You run for the 2 positions that you originally put your name forward to. I'm sorry. But strict rules! Because I am a dictator. But yes, if you had only run for one position though, you can of course nominate yourself for a second one now. So do we have any nominees? No? Okay, so Owen, would you like to give your speech?
Hello again. So in terms of, okay, I've told you everything, L'Oreal, all that, LGBT, whatever. So big aspects of being internal convener, running things like workshops with reps and other convener, and sort of smooth running for that. A big thing for me is, which will increase numbers too, getting first years, second years, everyone involved in that, and increasing confidence. Key to getting them to then go on to speak, getting speakers involved, filling up the proposition opposition every single week. Touching on what I did, sort of public speaking before, integrated with that was a lot of drama and speech and drama, things like that. And workshops were something I was involved in that. And they're sort of, you don't come in and just go, right, debate. There's going to be a certain structure to things like that. So it's getting everyone in, getting everyone relaxed, getting everyone to sort of in the zone of that, and then building the confidence through maybe games, mock speeches, things like that. Other aspects of the internal conveners meeting, so I know a lot of input has to come in for that from other members to get sort of motions on the cards, so it'll be promoting that a lot. Anyone who has me on Twitter, I think it's just Margaret. If you do read my Twitter, I'm pretty frequent. This is me.
So what is that?
Pardon?
What's your
I'll tell you after. I'm also Instagram famous, so that's something I could bring in. Averaging on 25 likes. So it's different things like that, promoting the society in that sense. Other things, organising formal, things like that, big event of the year, organising Christmas dinner, big plans. If I am elected and run, doesn't care. I'm thinking chocolate fountains, I'm thinking photo booths, I'm thinking champagne receptions, depending on what we can afford. Because it's big things like that that are going to also get the people at the start of the year to get them to sign up, because it will be something to look forward to. So, a vote for me is a vote against Ron. Obviously. So, thank you very much, and happy voting.
Okay, so do we have any questions? Really? Yes.
Just something I've struggled with being internal this year, or it's being raised, is trying to balance the term card between jokey debates and serious debates and matching that to what the members are wanting. And I just wondered if you had any further ideas. Obviously, I'd like to work really closely on it if you wanted to. But I just wondered if you had any ideas. If you had any ideas about how you would balance it between jokey and serious debates.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something definitely consider. If you read my manifesto, there are some ideas in there. Because obviously different crowds come to different things. If you get extremely specific, it's going to put a lot of people off. Jokey, everyone loves, so it is going to get a big balance. You do need to have a good balance, definitely. Something I will try to promote internally. Obviously, it will be influenced by all members that are sort of sending in suggestions, but it's things like science and engineering, because that affects everyone's lives, things like that. Bringing that aspect in. I think one of my ideas was, I don't know if anyone knows the new science behind this, but you can take 2 sperm cells. You can make one, or you can basically put them together. You can also take a man's stem cell, grow it in a certain environment to turn into an egg. So it's ethics behind that. Why would you do that? So that gay couples can have kids, things like that. So ethics, things like that. Should we be doing that? Is that tampering? Things like that. Bring those into debates, and I think it would be really exciting. And I think I could help get some very good speakers for that as well. Being in the School of Pharmacy, being in the School of Chemistry, and sort of bring for a good, well-rounded term card, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
It was touched upon with the external convener as well, but how would you cope with a speaker pulling out at the last minute and the last minute stress?
Yeah, so being close to people in the council, I know this does happen a lot. Maybe have backup speakers every week, just on the cards, if for instance the proposition is full. Just make sure that members of the council are on point, ready to take over if such a thing happens, because if it does, it ruins the week. It's not fair, and the debate falls apart. So having backup speakers, I think, is very important. Again, if you have very specific debates, that's going to be very hard. So again, having a well-rounded term card is going to sort of lessen sort of the impact of something like that was talking about.
I'd like to know, is there anything in particular you would change about the debates we already have, like our weekly debates?
At the moment, the term part is very good. Science, it's not, well, obviously being a scientist and engineer, I'm going to be biased, but it is something I'd like to bring a lot more because, like I said, it touches a lot. I know we do have debates with certain societies, maybe like once, if twice a semester, like the LGBT one, things like that. But if we could up that, get more people involved, again, it's something that we try to push. Like the Society of Mental Health or the Society of Engineering, and it's because those can be very extremely topical debates. You could go on.
Any other questions? I am bad at it. Okay, so you know the deal with the voting, so it's Owen or Ron. Weird.
Now for an interlude.
Guys know if you do write anything other than Ron or Owen, for example, in the last election, it just counts as a spoiled ballot. So it doesn't get counted at all. And that being said, we do have a winner after this, and it is Owen. And so moving swiftly on, our next election is for Outreach Officer, which is currently going uncontested as well. Miss Liliana Becker is running for this position. I'm reopening nominations. Would anybody like to nominate someone for this position?
Hi there, me again. Just a quick word of warning. If you're listening to this
well, using anything at all, you'll want to turn down what you're using to listen to this. I could have edited this next bit out, but honestly, it sounds like the screams of hell, so I wanted to leave it in. Enjoy!
Can we take a picture before we leave?
That's why we have to take our council vote. Okay, so did anybody want to run for outreach officer? No? Okay, so you should.
Hello. First thing, if you do vote for me, please write Lily, don't write my full name. I will not be happy. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a few reasons why I should get this one. Firstly, I'd like to continue with the amazing work that Mary Louise has done this year with things like the schools competition, because it really does help people from outside the Litterific who are coming to Queen's or might want to come to Queen's to see how brilliant we can be, and it really can influence them and their decisions later on. I've also got a little bit of experience with communicating with schools and things. I've just been back to my old school and spoken about how brilliant Queen's was, funnily enough. I'd like to get a lot of media stuff going, so we've already got the live tweeting of debates, which I think is brilliant, and it really kind of helps people to see what's actually happening if they can't listen. I'd like to continue that. I'd also like to create a Snapchat so people become more familiar with like what people look like as well, and it would make things easier. And a LinkedIn profile as well.
Let her continue with her speech. Just stop.
Yeah, so I've got some really good ideas. Hopefully you guys see that, and to continue the society in the way that it has been running, and I hope that things can go well.
Okay, so do we have any questions?
Sorry, this is the only question that I feel kind of compelled to ask tonight because, like Mary Louise, I kind of feel a certain sense of responsibility for the schools competition, seeing as my sort of slightly abortive attempts to set it up a couple of years ago were sort of rescued by Mary Louise. So I just wanted to hear about your kind of experience with the schools competition specifically, and what your kind of vision for it would be.
Okay. Well, I'm only in first year, so the first school comp that I went to was this year.
Okay.
I went and I judged one of the debates that was happening, and I went to the workshop afterwards and saw the way that the kids were interacting with the members of the society, and it really gave you a sense of how brilliant their talent was out there. So I'd really, really like to put an emphasis on that, to kind of urge them to see that Queen's is brilliant and kind of give them more of an opportunity to perhaps see other things that we do, because they're kind of limited in the only way to see the schools comp. But generally just to kind of keep the hype up for it as well, because it's quite a big thing, I feel, and like it can be a lot bigger as well if we continue it the way it has been going.
Okay, do you have any other questions?
The rest of the school stuff, and that's brilliant. What I believe Alex mentioned in hers was to bring in alumni. A few years ago, Literific ran an event where we brought in like Literific alumni from, God, I mean, about 50 years ago. But like Brian Garrett came in, and we can all agree that, you know, those who were there, it was a really rich experience. Like, I don't know if you have any plans involving like the very, you know, vast alumni of Literific that we could benefit from.
I think a lot of that's been mentioned before, and I think personally I would want to continue some of the ideas that have already been said. I couldn't think currently of anything like completely brilliant off the top of my head, but I think some of the stuff that has been already said could be really focused upon and built upon in order to get alumni coming back and kind of integrating them with what we already do.
And our last question. Anyone? Yes?
This is a kind of related question. What do you think your tricky style to be? I mean, it's just, you know,
I think I could make it sassy.
And yes, so you know the deal with voting either Lily or Ron, and anything else will be a score ballot. Okay, let us go for would anybody else like to nominate someone for this position?
I nominate Jason Ian.
Yeah. Okay. And anyone else? No? Okay.
Was that a serious nomination?
Yes.
Yes, we have a serious nomination. I know, a change. Also, guys, seriously, what's with the nominating characters?
Why are you looking at me?
I'm looking at this. Is it you? Because I was just looking at this direction. That's very suspicious.
Might have been a little bit, mate.
Okay.
Darth Vader would be a silly ugly
Last one was Darth Vader. Okay, order. Run.
Sorry, can you just repeat your name for me, please?
It's James McNally. Okay, so we now have two nominees for this position. So, Miss Rosie Watterson, you may start.
I feel like we have a really great council and we're going to have a really great year. However, I don't actually see my position on it, and I'm not sure that it's going to be the year that I will be involved. So I am withdrawing my application, but I think James will make a really fantastic opening that. Thank you.
So with this position,
difficult choice.
okay, James,
We go on. Okay, so I'm not going to sell you grandiose ideas that I came up with in 2 minutes. But I do think a lot of people talk to me about running. That's not me bragging, it's insane. And the thing that I kept replying to that I didn't know was a role I could fulfill. But Open Rep, I feel like There are some skills that I have, and some qualities I have that I can really contribute to the council and the society, and I would really love to do that. So I'm going to quickly rattle through them. I like to think, and you guys can give a line to this if I'm wrong, I like to think I'm a reasonably approachable person. And I do think that's really important, especially for debating society, because we're ultimately a society of public expression and talking to people. And it's really important at the start of the year we're able to do that to people. I know that I will do that regardless of whether I'm on council or not, but I'd love to be part of that, and it helps me know that. Secondly, again, it sounds arrogant, but I hope I'm quite a helpful guy. A lot of people talk about, oh, what if you're doing speakers, what if you need help at the last minute. I hope that if I'm on council and some of you people can reach out to you for help with that, and just general help. Thirdly, I do have one thing maybe I can offer. I do have some previous experience in debating, and especially I have quite a bit of experience in debates training, so I would love to work with other present internal conveners to help with that and help with workshops. That's something I think I can definitely contribute. And yeah, I think that generally I know what I'm going to be an active member, and I know what I'm going to be part of society, and I hope this is a good avenue for me to do that more productively, and I hope you agree.
Just a sec, I think that asks. Okay.
Wait a second.
Okay. Just have to double check something. Okay, so we're going to go to questions now. So does anybody have any questions? No? No one? Yeah.
As far as I understand, I missed the start of it, but the open rep has now been moved to more of a social secretary position. I've been told, is that correct?
In addition to the other reps.
Yeah. What I'd like to know is how you would sort of take, the really big aspects of our social elements, the conversation only, the Christmas dinner, and what else you would add to that as your role as open representative.
Okay, well, I'll start sounding boring. This is a really boring skill, but I'm quite good at paperwork, and I'm quite good at official correspondence, and that's always part of organising anything. So again, I'm working always with other people's open rep. That's something we need done. I certainly can do it. I know I'm pretty good at it. Again, I like to think that I'm a relatively open guy, relatively approachable, and I hope that I'll be able to sell any social events like in the manner that we're expected. So yeah, I hope that's an answer to your question.
Okay, any other questions? Going once, going twice? No. Yeah.
You have my vote. I don't think I'm afraid to say that.
Thank you.
As a judge of character, would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
That's a tough
I
one.
really love ducks. No, I do have a weird. I don't eat duck, even though I eat meat in general. So I don't know if I'd fight a duck because I feel guilty. But then again, horses are really nice too.
They're a bit more vicious though.
Having worked on a duck farm.
Okay, I think we did that. Sorry, we did that, James.
I'd probably end up getting killed by either of them because I'm not very strong. So like, whatever one would kill me more painlessly, I guess. What actually
Do we have any other questions? Sorry, guys. Yep.
In lieu of very important and demanding questions, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
There's 12. So it was time for lunch, but I had 2 slices of toast just with butter. And I had breakfast because I'm 4 years old apparently.
So you can either vote for James or for Ron, and then anything else is going to be split on. Okay? You know what you're doing.
Things are down.
Okay, so we do have a victory here. James, so the last vote of the night is for second year representative, which is also going uncontested. Miss Gemma Cannon is running for the position. Would anyone else like to nominate someone? I think there are any other second years.
You don't have to be second year to do it, just not like that.
There is a loophole in the constitution. Don't do it, you should be a second year.
Quiet!
Sorry.
Really? Okay, this is done. Can I close them?
Yes.
Closing them. They're closed. Okay, so if you would like to come and make a speech.
Okay, started, so I'll finish. It's been a long one. So plans for second year rep, I think, would be just to kind of get every single school as involved as possible, both within the humanities sector and within sciences and everybody in between. Really just try and get anybody that didn't sign up in the first year that wanted to, and then just for whatever reason didn't, try and get them back within the fold, as it were. And just try and get them back involved, try and get them to bring their friends, and really within the freshers fair as well, just focus on second year recruitment as well, people that have been at university for a bit of time, people that have had a chance to form opinions about things and know how Queen's works and have a bit more confidence as well. So then we also gain more speakers as well, because I find a lot of first years aren't necessarily keen on speaking. What else? That's probably it, really. Yeah. Hugs for everyone.
Okay, so do we have any questions?
Please.
I think this is a really good point Alex brought up, where our representatives currently are used kind of as a medium of communication between the groups that they represent and council. But as she also said, I think it would be a better idea if we had more of them in the chamber giving their opinion on what we're doing. I mean, that really does help us as well as letting them know like what we're doing. Would there be any specific ways or methods you'd use to try and persuade people to really get involved?
Well, I think, to be honest, just letting people know that they are allowed to come and that council meetings happen and when they happen. And I think a lot of people would be interested in getting involved.
And do you have any other questions?
Yeah. What do you think of the legal ramifications of free hugs for everyone?
Well, I think everybody deserves a hug. Be it your mum or my mum or Thomas over there or Tara. Everybody sometimes needs a hug. See, there we go. Perfect. Everybody needs a hug sometimes. And there should be no legal obstacles to free hugs.
Don't try and hug me. Does anybody want to try just for an example?
She punched me in the throat.
Okay. I did slap you in the face, so that was a different occasion.
Yeah.
Okay. Sophie, do you want an example of what happens when someone tries to hug me? But I can't actually get you to hug them. Just to prove this.
Ambush. It needs to be an ambush.
Don't do no. Great. I'm sorry. And that's why you can't have free hugs. You do have to ambush. Gross. Any other questions?
Would you like to go to a vote?
Yeah. Okay, so Rob or Shannon? Okay, so I am happy to announce that elections are actually over because we have a secondary representative. Okay, is there any other business? Yes.
Briefly, tonight for the motion to reopen the honorary life membership bestowal thing. And can I nominate Julian Jacek for honorary membership?
Okay, so the motion is to reopen honorary life membership.
Second.
No, yeah. So, everybody in favor, say aye. And everybody against. Okay. And so, yes. So, anybody have nominees for honorary life membership? You have nominated Ms. Andrade. And do we have any others? Yeah.
Can I nominate Ms. Katie Waller?
Yeah.
Anything though, I turned up like twice.
Irish Times, speaker of the year.
Don't argue with it. Any other nominations? Yes.
Yeah.
Right, second and third.
We need to keep it special. Sorry, guys. Any other nominations?
Can I just nominate
Yes.
everybody? Okay, doesn't matter. No, well, yeah, we can.
Okay, any other?
Well, I'm going to follow the trend. Alex, please.
Okay.
Anyone who wants to
Guys, come on. Do we have other nominations?
So much money.
I'm surprised it hasn't been said yet, but Miss Cara Goulier.
Can we not?
Yes.
It's going to be next year by next year's president. Fucking hell, nothing.
So, no
You can speak against it. Oh, Tara. What? How do you spell? Any other nominations? Because it seems like something like that. Any? Yeah.
Pedro?
Motion to close nomination.
Okay. So, going first, Miss Julia Andrade Rocha. Do we have a seconder? Do we have any opposers? Or objections? No? You get it! Next up, Miss Katie Waller. Any seconders? Any objections?
No.
I want to pay the alumni fee.
You still try it anyway? We will not reject your money. Miss Emma Chadwick, do you have a seconder? Do we have any objections?
No.
I feel like I want to earn it. I don't feel like I've earned it yet.
I mean, you get more than I have.
Would you like us to vote you down?
You can withdraw your own nomination. Your name.
I don't
I'm going to say what I have actually done is like being into our community this year, workshops, delegating debates, organising debates.
When you put it like that.
Any actual objections?
No.
You get it! Next up, Bishop, because I usually slow me. Do we have a seconder? Any objections?
No.
Miss Sophie Stratzel, do we have a seconder? Any objections?
No.
Solid Slowbot, do we have a seconder? Any objections? Me, do you have any objections?
Yes, you have to make that one.
I agree.
Up to you. You're nominated.
I told him it was Giant. I mean, who would do that?
Proposal to withdraw to next year.
Defer to next year.
Yes.
I mean, I could do that, or I could just not.
Oh, Mary Louise, could you nominate her now? No, I don't want to. I'm going to do it next year.
I think you should just go this year.
No, what you do, that should be ceremony. Tradition.
Please decide.
Okay.
It's up to Tara. She wants to know next year.
Tara. It's up to you.
It's up to whether we vote.
Well, you will be do the next.
So?
It doesn't matter. Do you want it now or do you want it next year?
I want both!
Well, if you get it, we get a shower.
We'll give you a shower.
Yeah.
That's not really, this is your phone.
Can we have a vote? Let's have a vote!
Do it by hand.
Yeah!
So you don't
No, I don't mean like let's have a proper vote.
No, but still. I'm not going to vote against you, but you should get it next year. Just like every president.
Do you have any objections? Yes? Okay, then we have to defer. We'll have to defer that.
No one's going to vote against you.
Wait, I have objections? Fine, we will defer till next year.
It's too late.
Somebody's gonna get a lot of emails. Okay, so next is Pedro.
Seconded.
Is
Do you have any objections? Okay, objections.
10 likes on Facebook comment. I don't know if those are
Horrified when I was like,
honestly, guys.
Does everybody know who Pedro is?
No, I'm
I don't think I know who Pedro
Let's
is.
just go to the AGM and go.
Can we close the AGM?
Yes, no, but like, it's on the list. Yes, so everybody in favor, say aye. No, of voting Pedro for our life membership. Aye.
Hands, raise your hand to send this. All those in favor?
Hands. Okay, everybody against, raise your hands.
Yes.
Okay, Pedro doesn't get it.
Right, let's go.
That is that. You can blame Murphy for the last 3 minutes. It's all his fault. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I think I will play the tones of elevator music just one more time. So here we go. Thanks for listening. Join us next year.
If you're listening to this, the monarchy has fallen. Welcome to the future that you expected. Welcome to the Republic.